Neuroplasticity. So in these upcoming slides, we'll learn about neural degeneration, neural regeneration, neural reorganization, and recovery. So in the first three sections of this unit, you learned about the structure, types, and functions of neurons, neural conduction, and synaptic transmission. Now we will focus on neuroplastic responses, namely neural degeneration, neural regeneration, neural reorganization, and recovery. Neuroplasticity is also known as neural plasticity or brain plasticity, which is the ability of neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization. These changes range from individual neuron pathways making new connections to systematic adjustments in cortical remapping. It was earlier believed that any damage to the central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord, is permanent or more or less permanent. It was also hypothesized that the adult brain was incapable of any reorganization. But the recent advances in the research by neuroscientists in 1980s onwards have concluded that the brain has the ability to constantly change the structure and functions of the cells in response to any experience, injury, or trauma. The mature brain, hence, is constantly changing and adapting. This ability of the brain is known as neuroplasticity. The brain keeps changing in the course of a person's life with changes in synaptic activity, genetic, and environmental influences. There may be changes in the neuronal activity or more complex changes in cortical mapping in response to an injury or trauma. Throughout the lifespan, neurons continuously die out, and it was assumed that old cells are lost without being replaced by the new ones. The recent evidence on neurogenesis, that is growth of new neurons, throws light on the capability of an adult brain to regenerate new nerve cells. The adult neurogenesis comes from hippocampus and olfactory bulb. Hippocampus is the unique structure located in the medial temporal lobe of the brain and is involved in memory, emotions, and mood. Olfactory bulbs are the first cranial nerves whose output goes primarily to amygdala and piriform cortex. Diet and enriched environment plays an important role in neurogenesis, whereas sleep deprivation and stress impedes neurogenesis. Study of Henry Molaison. At the age of 29 years old, Henry underwent a brain surgery to lessen the severity of epileptic seizures. In the surgery, a part of the brain known as hippocampus, both sides of medial temporal lobes were removed, and the surrounding cortical regions were removed. The surgery could control epileptic seizures and did not affect his intelligence and personality. But the surgery caused a serious deficit in his long-term memory, known as amnesia, though his working memory was intact. Thus, the results indicated that hippocampus and the surrounding cortical regions are critical for long-term memory. Hippocampus plays an important role in long-term memory encoding and long-term memory retrieval. Neural degeneration. Neural degeneration is a result of brain development and disease. It is affected by nearby glial cells, degenerating neurons, and any process or disease that triggers degeneration. When the axon of the neuron is cut, it causes two kinds of degeneration or deterioration. When the axon breaks from the point of cut towards the terminal button, it is known as anterograde degeneration, and the distal end of the axon degenerates. When the neuron breaks from the center of the axon, including the cell body, it is known as retrograde degeneration. It is the degeneration of the segment that is proximal cut between the cut of the axon and the cell body. Neural regeneration. Neural regeneration is the regrowth of damaged neurons. Once the neurons are destroyed in the central nervous system in adult mammals, they do not recover. However, in the peripheral nervous system, they do try to regenerate, but the normal functions may not be possible. If the recovery process does take place, then there are different ways. If the myelin sheath is intact, then the regenerating axons may grow through them to their desired target areas. If the nerve is severed and the ends of the myelin sheath moves apart, then no meaningful regeneration will take place. If the nerve is severed and the myelin sheath ends slightly get separated from one another, then incorrect myelin sheaths develop and reaches out to undesired target areas. The peripheral nervous system neurons have the inherent capability to regenerate, while as central nervous system neurons cannot regenerate. Some central nervous system neurons are capable of regeneration if transplanted to the peripheral nervous system, while some peripheral nervous system neurons transplanted to the central nervous system neurons are not capable of regeneration. This clearly indicates the environment of peripheral nervous system that promotes regeneration. When the axon degenerates, new axons branch out from adjacent healthy axons and synapse at the place vacated by degenerating axon. This is known as collateral sprouting. Collateral sprouts may grow from axon terminal branches or the nodes of Ranvier on adjacent neurons. Neural reorganization. Studies conducted on laboratory animals to study neural reorganization after brain damage have primarily focused on sensory and motor cortex area of the brain. The results of the studies by Kaas and colleagues in 1990 and Pons and colleagues in 1991 and Sainz, Cerner and Donoghue in 1990 clearly indicate cortical reorganization following damage in laboratory animals. Experiments conducted on adult mammalian brain also conclude that adult brain can reorganize its primary motor and sensory functions after gaining sufficient experience. Mechanisms like strengthening of existing connections, collateral sprouting, adult neurogenesis, etc. have a role to play in neural reorganization. Neural recovery. Recovering the brain function after damage is very difficult. It is difficult to do cognitive experiments on brain damaged patients, hence it is poorly understood. But there is some evidence that education and intelligence create cognitive resources to help in recovery functions referred to as cognitive reserve. Cognitive and physical exercise helps to recover from nervous system damage. Cognitive reserve has been used to explain that educated people are less vulnerable